This is Tatsumaki. By the end of this video, you're going to know every single reason why you should play this character. We'll start with the first reason, her ability to 1 versus 1. Now, Tatsumaki is no stranger to dueling. Her base kit, if used to its fullest degree, can be considered on par with typical duelist characters such as Saitama or Garou. This is because of a couple things. We'll start by discussing the first, combos. Tatsumaki has the longest true combo out of every other character. This allows for some interesting interactions. For starters, being able to keep somebody in a combo for a long period of time allows you to regenerate a larger amount of health before they can fight back again, as opposed to the other characters' combos. In a one-on-one scenario, a slither of health can be the difference between winning and losing a fight, so this in itself is a great bonus to have. If you want to get technical, we can calculate precisely how much of an advantage this gives. To perform the calculation, we need exactly how long Tatsumaki's true combo lasts for, which from the first moment of impact to the final hit lasts for 18 seconds and 40 milliseconds. We'll just use 18 seconds for simplification. Next, we need to know precisely what the base regen is in the Strongest Battlegrounds. I did this by hitting myself with the second variant of metalbat's first move, which deals 10% flat damage. Then I just timed how long it took for my health bar to disappear, which was 13.5 seconds. When we put 10 and 13.5 into the calculator, we get this number. This can just be rounded down to 0.74. This number indicates roughly the base health regeneration in the Strongest Battlegrounds per second. Then, we times 0.74 by 18 seconds and we get this. This is how much health you would regenerate while performing Tatsumaki's true combo. And if you think of it this way, 13% is roughly what all of these moves deal, meaning if you successfully perform the combo and get attacked, there's a higher chance of survival. Pretty crazy, huh? Anyway, enough yapping. We'll move on to the second part, cooldowns. Now, Tatsumaki's cooldowns aren't actually that crazy. In fact, they're pretty average, but what sets them apart from the others is the way she can utilize them. You see, her abilities kind of work in constant circulation. The average cooldown of one of her base moves is 21.5 seconds. With her stupidly long combo being 18 seconds, this means that from the time she used her first move to the fourth, the first move is basically already off cooldown. Granted, her combo only works if the other person doesn't have their evade, or you don't get teamed on. But generally speaking, she can cycle through her abilities like 2.6 Hog Cycle can. Anyway, let's talk about her passive next. Just talking specifically about regular 1v1s with no ultimates or any trash can abusing, her passive is easily one of the most useful ones. This little green bubble protects you from pretty much all base moves in the game. It encompasses you from every angle, meaning if you get hit by something from any direction while you're using it, it will ignore that attack, fling back nearby opponents, and deal 10% damage to them. It's particularly useful for getting a second chance before getting caught in one of Garou's 90% damage combos. Talking of damage, by the way, this is how much damage Tatsumaki's combo does. Like there wasn't already enough reasons to play this character. Next up is the ultimate. Starting with the Awakening, which is effectively undodgeable at close range, it's arguably the best awakening in the game. Its damage is pretty average, but if someone pops it unexpectedly, there's no running from it, like you can with Garou or Sonic. It also means that it's quite a bit easier to one-shot combo somebody, considering this move does a fifth of their max health. Anyway, let's talk some about her actual ult moves. I don't think they really need much explaining, but I'll put it briefly. All of her ultimate moves generally focus on one person. All 4 of her ultimate moves have a grab.
A grab is a move that prevents you from doing anything and allows the user to somewhat control your movement, like this move, for example.
Most grab moves can also only grab one person at a time, which means that Tatsumaki's moves are pretty well suited for one-on-one scenarios, in situations where there's no rules against using ultimates, of course. Anyway, her ultimate moves are as follows.
The first, Cosmic Strike. Basically the thing that wiped out the dinosaurs. It does about half of your health and if hit from close range can grab and stun an opponent. The second, Psychic Ricochet. Grabs an opponent and deals 40.5% of their health. The third, Terrible Tornado. Grabs an opponent, pulls them through the ground, then hits them with one of these. Deals 95% of your health. The fourth, Sky Snatcher. Flies toward an opponent, grabs them and throws them for 27% damage.
Wow, what a great movie that was. Anyway, hopefully you can probably see now why TATSUMAKI's moveset is great for 1 versus 1s, but did you know she's also quite good against teamers as well? You might be wondering,
But if she's designed to be good at 1 versus 1s, how is she good against teamers?
glad you asked. Let me explain. We've concluded her ability to 1 versus 1 now, and are moving on to her ability to fight teamers. When it comes to teamers, you're obviously going to struggle with any character if the teamers are seasoned players. However, the majority of the player base is typically in the intermediate range of skill. This means that they often make mistakes that can lead to you getting in some hefty damage. In the case of TATSUMAKI, her ability to fight teamers definitely isn't all that crazy, but she can still do it. Here's me fighting like 3 hangout kids if you wanted any proof. I think what makes her good in this scenario is 2 things. The first is that every single one of her abilities, base and ultimate, have some form of, at minimum, a moderate size area of effect attack. Pretty much all characters have area of effect, but I'm not talking about this measly 3-stud wide, tiny hitbox, which is barely useful against teamers, but abilities which can hit multiple people more effectively. The second thing is probably her mobility. We'll talk about mobility a little more later, but in her kit she has the best mobility move in the game, and arguably the second best as well. The reason I say arguably is because this move exists. Both of these moves allow her to create distance between the opponents to heal, or to wait for cooldowns to replenish. By the way, you can do both of these by flying onto a tree or wall. It's pretty funny. I think it's also worth mentioning that with Ultimate, you're pretty much always guaranteed a kill on somebody because of Sky Snatcher in particular. The ragdoll cancel in the Strongest Battlegrounds is 30 seconds, and the cooldown of Sky Snatcher is 17 seconds. Because this move is so easy to hit, you can use it on someone once, catch their ragdoll cancel, then use it again and combo them. It can also work against teamers because you can basically abduct them. Like this, of course. Now, the next category essentially falls into the 4th category, but I think it's deserving of its own place. Her ability to catch runners. Literally just as it says. She's quite capable of catching runners because of her pull ability and her mobility, which is better than most people think. She's only slightly slower than genos is when traveling in a straight line, maybe between half a second and a second racing between these 2 points of the map. Couple her pretty good speed with the gap closing she has and the pull move, it makes her quite good against runners. Not much else to say about this one, so we'll move on. Probably my favorite one on this list, utility. May as well call it tips and tricks, because that's essentially what this is. She can get onto the wall by climbing either of these trees and using her 4th move to fly up there. Alternatively, Sky Snatcher can be used for the exact same purpose, but it's going to cost your ultimate. If you're fighting a dunce like this, you can use her 4th move to bait counters, which is pretty funny but only really works on laggy players or dum-dums.
Me no dum-dum, you dum-dum.
After hitting someone with Stone Coffin, you can front dash and loop around to get some extra free true damage, because it doesn't roll them back for whatever reason. If you're fighting someone, you can throw them into the crab to get a big chunk of extra damage. Your passive can be used as a combo starter. Down slam an opponent caught in Windstorm Fury to go through their block and/or continue with your combo. If your passive is up, it deflects projectiles, but also doesn't consume the shield. TATSUMAKI has the fastest M1 startup in the game, as well as the fastest M1 swing rate in the game. This just means you can go from blocking to attacking faster than the other characters, and M1 trade much easier than the other characters. Use Crushing Pull while your opponent is using a move with long end lag for a free combo. This one is completely unrelated to TATSUMAKI, but for those who don't know, end lag is the amount of time you are left vulnerable after an attack. Windstorm Fury can block Blitz Shot if it hits it, but not other projectiles. Sky Snatcher can travel up to twice the initial distance if you grab somebody. Cosmic Strike's grab can hit an infinite amount of people. Expulsive Push does less damage if you use it while you're in the air as opposed to touching the ground. Psychic Ricochet in particular has some pretty ridiculous iframes, about 8 seconds of them if you hit somebody. It's worth knowing in my opinion. You can use any moves or M1s after Psychic Ricochet ends to always hit your opponent. They won't be able to avoid it if timed correctly. You can trap people in trees using Crushing Pull, and if they're using a character with no mobility, they won't be able to get out. I bet you're expecting a 19th tip or trick. But truthfully, I couldn't think of anything else really useful, so instead, I'm going to let you guys in on a secret. A secret 5th reason of why you should play this character. But before I let you in on the secret, I have a message to deliver. You guys asked, so I've finally done it. A Discord server. The server itself is nothing crazy or special, but it's a community server based around me and my channel. You can come here and chat to me or other people, ask questions, post memes, etc. The link to the server will be the top link in the description of this video, so come along. Or don't. It's completely up to you, but the option's always here if you change your mind. Anyway, are you guys prepared for this huge secret I'm about to unveil? The 5th and final reason of why you should play TATSUMAKI. The craziest and most overpowered reason of them all. A secret, hidden deep in the Himalayan mountains, tucked away in a cave on a snowy mountainside. The secret reason is that she has a level 10 Gaia! A level 10 Gaia!